Well, we're reaching the business end of the first season in League Two, and I think, that's the symbol for think now apparently, think that we might just survive until the end of the season and be able to get a proper pre-season under our belt and do things properly next year. That's the plan anyway. Hello and welcome to Season 3, Part 4 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Swindon and at home against Mansfield Town. Since you were last with me, form has been rubbish. We pursued with the 4-2-3-1 for as long as we had to. Some of the strikers are getting back to fitness now. At the moment, Sam Byrne got fit again. We had a decision to make going into the Forest Green game. We decided to leave him out and go with the 4-2-3-1 that had us unbeaten for 3 games up until that point. And we got spanked 5-1. So we went back to the 4-3-1-2 for the next game. Byrne back in the side. Byrne scores the winner. We're now up to 18th place. The pre-season media prediction was 15th. The board looking for mid-table. I think 15th is probably out of the question with 6 games still to go. 16th, 17th, not unrealistic. And fingers crossed with a 6-point gap, we shouldn't drop any lower than 18th. As it stands right now, the board are happy enough. Let's have a look. Where are they? There you go. They're satisfied with my performance. Competition-wise, they're satisfied. We should be able to make it through until the summer. And then we'll see what we can do next year. One slight worry is that the finances are looking a little bit disastrous, and for once it's not my fault. I've brought in far more. In fact, I'm going to prove it to you in case you don't believe me. We've sold £325,000 off a player and only spent £115,000. So we're at a £200,000 profit on transfer business. It might be a little bit over the wage budget. It's slightly my fault. Symbol for slightly as well. Keep your hands below the camera, Kev. Goodness me. So we're slightly over the wage budget, but not enough for us to be £100,000 in the red, and with projections like those. That is scary business. The club's finances are currently insecure. That's something we're going to need to be monitoring, because as we found at Gainsborough, as soon as money starts to get tight, budgets start to decrease, and it becomes really hard to make any kind of progress, and we don't want to get trapped in that vicious cycle again. So, the first of today's 2 games, and the goal is just to try and get as high up the league table as we can. If we can finish 16th or 17th, that'd be marvellous. If not, just don't drop any lower. That's all we need to be concerning ourselves with, really. 16th to 18th, I think any of those positions, that should be enough for me to not be fired. And then we'll see if there's any money to spend in the summer. So, in goal, we've got Smith, a back 4 of Martin, Wilson, Jackson and White. Anton Ferdinand is fit, but no longer first choice. Wilson and Jackson have kind of established themselves as my first choice back 4 now, which is problematic in so much as Jackson's only here on loan and will be back at his parent club next year, and Wilson is only on contract till the end of the season, as is Ferdinand. So we might need a bit of a rebuild in the back 4 over the summer, certainly. A midfield of Wordsworth, Cragen and Merkins. In fact, they're the wrong way round for starters. There you go. Oh, Cragen can't play anywhere. Have we really got... Hold on. Ian Viggers. That's better. That works for me. And then Benteke in behind Byrne and Taylor Crossdale. Taylor Crossdale is a frustration because, yes, he's got 18 goals for us, but he never actually plays well, or not consistently anyway. If we have a look at his form over goodness knows how many games. Look, it's been a long time since he got anything above a 7. He has these odd games where he grabs a goal, but he doesn't necessarily play well when he's scoring a goal. And for someone who has got 18 goals and is our top scorer, it's a really low average rating of 6.72. I know he's only 19. I know he's got potential, but we need to start getting performances out of him a little bit more regularly. And I mean, that could go for the whole attacking element of the squad, really. I don't like seeing so many players averaging below a 7. I'm not used to it, and it's something that we need to fix. We've got one of our youngsters coming into the bench today. We've given him the number 10 shirt, because why not? Let's have a look at him. There you go. Patrick Drury, 16 years old. Absolutely loads of potential. This might be the striker that we need so desperately. He's just come through the youth team as part of the youth candidates that came through a couple of weeks ago. So we've got him on the bench. He's a lot better than Williams. So if we need another striker, and Taylor Crossdale, I'm looking at you. Byrne scored in the last game. If Taylor Crossdale doesn't have a good game today, we might get to see 16-year-old Peter Drury and if he is, Benteke's just scored, but if Drury is proper 5-star potential, then, that's a potential, see, linking the words together, but that's a potential route out of the financial problems, I guess. Get half a season under his belt, sell him for £1 million. Bob's your uncle. We're, according to projections, only £1 million in debt then. This is a nice finish from Jonathan Benteke, who, in the comments, you have all informed me, is at Crystal Palace with his brother. It is his brother, Christian, at Palace as well. So, yeah, I'm surprised we've got him, really. We're not going to get him next year. He was here on loan because he was on the transfer list. I'm sure he's at Rotherham in game, but presumably his contract's running down at Rotherham and he'll go off to someone else for a big pile of money. Far too much for us to be able to afford, and we'll have to rebuild without him. If we could get him back for another year, that would be awesome. Although he's not been the sort of game-changing superstar hero I was hoping he would be. He's obviously a lot better than everyone else we've got at the club, as he's just shown again, drifting into a decent position. It's just a shame he couldn't convert the chance. As it stands at the moment, where are Swindon in the league? Let's have a little look. Swindon, you can't see. They're sort of upper mid-table. They're where we'd like to be, really. If things had gone the way I'd hoped they would, and the way, I don't know, we might have suspected they would after that first game with Southend where we picked up a win. If things had gone as planned, we'd be up there in sort of 9th, 10th place, and I'd be looking like a hero. As it is, I look like I don't know what I'm doing because, first time in the league. I'm still living in a travel lodge, for goodness sake. If we survive it until the summer, then we'll look into getting a proper hotel. Not a hotel, yeah. We'll get a big hotel if we survive through to summer. No, I might buy a house. The one up in Scunthorpe's finally sold, so, got a little bit of capital to invest. So I am on the lookout, but bad run of results, and we're not going to want to buy in Southend anyway, so let's not commit to anything too soon. Benteke should have not. Can't get my words out. Goodness me. I was so tongue-tied that they've managed to slip through and nab a goal because I was stumbling over trying to explain that Benteke needed to be a little bit quicker getting out and closing down there, but alas, it was not to be. And I'm going to blame him for the goal because he's only here on loan, and I still think he could have closed down a little bit better. You won't know when I'm talking about now because it took me 15 minutes to get the nonsense out of my mouth after he did it. Fix that in editing. Make me look smart. Thank you. Right, let's get straight into this second half. And Swindon are another team who've sort of lined up really quite defensively against us. I don't know if this is the en vogue thing in League Two. Let's see, I know French. But there seems to be a lot of this 4-5-1 quite negative football. They're at home and they're a better team than us. Benteke's in there, and there you go. He makes up for his lack of closing down for their equaliser by grabbing his 7th goal since arriving on loan for us in January. It's a nice little pass from Taylor Crosdale. Burns sort of gets tackled and it falls nicely from Benteke. The tackle from their player turns into a really nicely weighted through ball. Benteke gets the right side of his man for us and nabs a goal. I don't know what it is with Benteke. His fitness is shocking. Bearing in mind he's on loan from a bigger club, you get an hour into a game and his fitness is always down to like 60%. I don't know what it is with him. Low natural fitness, would that do that? Or I don't see how we could be training him wrong. That's all left to the assistant manager. He does the same training as everybody else, but I don't know. He just never... Look at him. He's shattered already. And that's the big problem with him, I think. We get this far into a match and he's just had enough. We have to take him off. And if we could sort out his fitness, I guess if he could sort out the fitness, he'd have a chance of making it at Rotherham. And that might be why he's never had any kind of run of games for them, because he just doesn't get himself fit. I don't know if that's true to life. I'd never heard of him until I signed him in game. You lot had to tell me that he was real. Right. I tell you what, he's done well to get in there and get that clearance in there. He's all over the place today. I'm loath to take him off. He's having a 9 out of 10 game. He's on a hat-trick. He is supposedly completely match fit, but his condition's down to 58%. We just can't keep a player on the pitch like that, surely. Or can we? Let's bring Patrick Drury on. Have a little look at him. Oh, goodness me, what kind of striker do you want to be, Patrick? You want to be a defensive forward, do you? Well, goodness me, go and be a defensive forward, young man. You do whatever feels right to you. We'll make Byrne an advanced forward, and we'll do that. They tell you what, partnership there. Look, they're both like that. We'll take off Martin. No, we won't. We don't have anyone to bring on for Martin. Where all our we'll put White over there. We'll bring Romeo on to play it right back. We're going to leave Benteke on. He's playing well, and I want Drury to have the best player at the club, even behind him just for 10 minutes with the chance to slot a little through ball through to him, because I want this youngster to explode onto the scene and be our new hero. Benteke was in again there, but apparently he's a bit tired. Perhaps we should have recognised that. He didn't get onto it, and we could have been in trouble there from basically keeping a player on the pitch that we know shouldn't be on there anymore. And if he drops down to 50, we've got to take him off now, haven't we? 55%, he's basically hobbling around on crutches at this point. So he can come off, Cragen comes on, and fingers crossed we can hold on to what would be, this would be a massive result for us. 2-1 away against a team much higher in the league than we are. Plus, it gives us the opportunity for 2 wins on the bounce. Although, I did notice Cozzy and Clay playing at left-back for Swindon, former posh player, that's why I recognised him and know how to say his name. He's in the League 2 Dream Team at the moment, so we need to keep an eye on crosses coming in from that left-hand side. Get the ball to Drury! Merkins to work. This is lovely football. We're just knocking it around everywhere. Drury's beating his man. Lovely ball through to Sam Byrne, and we're 3-1 up. And Drury's got an assist on his debut, and that was some lovely football all round. We were knocking the ball around all over the place. And look at that little bit of a turn from Drury, finds himself some space, and places that through ball perfectly. He's done more in 15 minutes on the pitch than Taylor Crossdale has done for 15 matches. The slight exaggeration, maybe, but it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say he's done more than Taylor Crossdale's done for the last 4 or 5 matches. So it's ridiculous, really. We get Sam Byrne back fit again, and suddenly another striker appears and just emerges out of the youth team and is able to offer even more competition. And suddenly we don't look as weak up front as we did before, which is nice. There you go. Late season burst up. Can we make the playoffs? 5 games left after this one. Viggers, cross comes in, but it is eventually cleared by Swindon, but White gets back in, tries to find Byrne. Viggers, the move's not over yet, and Sam Byrne wanted another one. When he gets his tail up, he's a very dangerous player. You just need to get a little bit more consistency out of him. We had that little purple patch when I first arrived, where I think he got 5 goals in 2 games, but then sort of fell off the boil a little bit. But he has looked very good again since coming back from injury, and that's now 2 goals in 2 games for Byrne, and the emergence of a 16-year-old to play alongside him. Right, we're at home against Mansfield, and it's a fan day, so we're going to get loads of people into Roots Hall. Is that what the ground's called? I think it is. So we want a big win. We don't really have the capacity to change the side to try and get a big win. We've just made the 2 changes. Comley comes into the midfield for Viggers, who drops down to the bench, allowing Merkins to move out to be the playmaker. And Romeo comes back into the side at right back. Benteke, let's keep an eye on him. 96% condition, 98% match fitness at the moment. There is no reason for him to be down to 58% fitness by half time. But I bet he will be. So let's all keep an eye on Jonathan Benteke and submit this team. Oh, we're actually favourites for a football match. Goodness me. This is unheard of. Right, let's get the ball rolling. We want to go and grab 3 or 4 goals and put on a right good show. In fact, where are Mansfield in the league? Let's have a... can't look because Taylor Crossdale's got the ball. Merkins is free and has won a penalty with only 3 minutes on the clock. Mansfield are one of the teams we are in with a very, very slim chance of catching. Obviously, beating them makes it a lot more likely that we're able to do it. We'd only be 3 points behind them, if my maths works, if we can beat them today. And that really does put us in a sort of position where a mid-table finish is not completely out of the question. There you go, 1-0 up. If things stay as they are, we're up to 17th place. In my mind, and I've been saying it ever since we arrived, mid-table starts at 16th place. So 16th, I think the media predicted 15 or 16, but 16th place. Oh, Wordsworth's just scored an absolute screamer of a free kick. There's only 6 minutes on the clock. He knows that there's a fan day on today. We're 2-0 up after 7 minutes. Wordsworth's got a penalty and an absolute beauty. That is about as perfect a free kick as you will ever see in Football Manager. Anthony Wordsworth, captain now, and now Anton Ferdinand doesn't get in the side anymore. He's just a quality footballer at this level. God, we're back down to 18th. What? nonsense is this? Although, looking at that, Mansfield are all the way up in 13th. Obviously, we're playing them right now. There's only 3 points separating us from them, with 4 games to play after this one if things stay as they are. We don't want any of these other teams around us to get any pesky goals. We want, 13th place. Oh, Taylor Crossdale, get off the pitch. Should we get Drury on after 20 minutes? Taylor Crossdale is annoying me. And there's no logical reason why he should be. He's got 18 goals for us. He's 19 years old. He's a young lad who's had a cracking first season of football. And he's probably just shattered. He's played far more games than a 19-year-old should be playing in their first full season of football in what is a very competitive league. But, it's annoying. Benteke's just scored a lovely little goal. 3-0 up before half-time. The fans have every right to... I tell you what, this should help the club coffers out, because if we don't sell a few tickets to the next game as well after this one, and remember, we're getting round to season ticket renewal time as well, we're actually showing today that we're capable of putting on a little bit of a show when we need to. See, there you go, press conference mode. If the fans get behind us, we can put on a performance. We just need as many people as possible to cram into the ground. Roots Hall, yes, it's called Roots Hall. As many people as possible crammed into Roots Hall, and we'll play for you. You help us, we'll help you. You scratch our back, we'll scratch yours, etc., etc. 3-0 up at half-time because we had 8,000 people in the ground, which is... That's nuts, really, for League Two. Southend aren't that big a club, are they? Obviously, we're not in the press conference anymore, because that's how you get yourself fired, or at least to get the fans to turn on you. We're not a big club. We're a load of rubbish, really. 8,000 fans. Didn't realise there was 8,000 people living in Southend. Long pier, though, isn't there? Mile long. See, I've been doing my Southend research. Right, let's get Drury on. Give him another 20 minutes. We're also going to take off Comley and bring Viggers back on. And go back to the midfield that was the midfield for the last game. Viggers is just a little bit more attacking and creative in there. And Merkins can certainly do a job as a ball in the midfielder. That's what I expected him to be when I first arrived, but he seems to be doing rather well as a playmaker as well when we play him out there. Sam Byrne is not having one of his better days. I've put Drury on but not switched his position around. I was saying, is it fair to play Drury alongside Mr. Useless, but it's not fair to play him as a poacher when that's obviously not what he is. Let's make Williams a poacher. There you go. That might work a little better. 10 minutes of Drury actually playing in his preferred role, and there he is picking the ball up deep, working hard again. I want to see him I'd love to see him get a goal, but grab a little assist. And what better day for him to come on and make a name for himself than when we've got 8,000 people in the ground? Is that Kane Felix? Kane Felix of Boston fame? What number was he? I didn't even notice. We'll have a look after the game. But he's made it to the Football League. I tell you what, I noticed Dale Southwell playing against me a couple of games ago for Wickham. They're all the way up there, look. But I almost hit record, but I was in my pyjamas. So didn't really want to do an episode in my pyjamas. But there you go. We picked up a 3-0 win on a fan day. And that is important because Mansfield are up in 14th. We're only 3 points behind them with 4 games left to go. The chase is on. Mid-table is suddenly looking like a possibility. And we've just won 3 games on the bounce for the first time, I think. There you go. We're hitting form. Finally. We've cracked it. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.